Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to my fellow friends and to Dr. Zaini. So my name is Muhammad Syafiq bin Slamat, and today and now I will tell you, or I will give you some of my understanding or basic understanding on functions. Functions mainly can be used to call or execute multiple statements at one time. Statements such as printf or scanf, gets, and so on. There are two types of functions exactly. The first one is predefined standard library functions. Mainly, they are, maybe you are familiar with it. That is scanf, printf, and gets, and so on. We can call the functions whenever we need it, when we are constructing the code in our programming. And then the second one is the user-defined function, where the user himself or the programmer himself or herself define the functions. Why do programmers use functions? Firstly, functions can improve the readability of the code itself, because when programmer constructing code, it can, maybe the other programmer want to use it as a reference, or they want to improve the program itself. The functions is very handy, as it can make the program easier to read. And the second one, of course, is to reduce the size of the code. Basically, function can shorten by shorthand to calling bunch of statements, such as the one that I've just read, printf, or to display the variable at the end of the programming to the console. It can be executed numerous times by using functions itself. So as example, you just use basic name, for example console dump, and you put parentheses in the program, and the parentheses is an arguments. It allows to customize the function itself. So for the I'll tell you another one, such as scanf. If you want to scan and let the user know what is the value or what is the variable that you want to put, that you want the user to put into your console after you program it. The function itself will scan the input value that the user have put into the console. So another advantages, or why the programmers use functions, is because debugging will be easier. As we know, when mainly program is not perfect, there must be some of bugs occurs in the program. So if you using a function, there is no, there is no hard times to find the error in the program, and you can find it faster because of functions that have been used in the program. Basically, functions is like when you are baking a cake. Exactly, baking cake mainly consists of flour, eggs, and etc. Right? So you imagine cake is a function, and then you want to bake a chocolate cake, red velvet cake, or what cake you want to bake. So the arguments of the cake is the flavor, the coloring, and so on. So functions can be used if as example you want to make a cake, so you write a code in whatever in Dev C++, make cake, you put a parenthesis in there, and then the arguments will be chocolate, and then baking cake you will bake a chocolate cake. That is my basic understanding of function exactly. And then what else? So if the user okay, I will be talking about the parenthesis of the printf. If the user or if the program is want to print the display, so it will scan the arguments. If, as example, if the variable is 6, so the display on the console will also be 6. And then if the variable is 5, the console will display a variable of 5. That is my basic understanding of functions exactly. So let me summarize this. As I know that function is very useful and is very practical actually to call or execute multiple statements at one time. On the other hand, of course, the advantages or why the programmers mainly use functions, because of the three reasons that I stated before. That is to improve the reliability, reduce the size, and of course the debugging will be easier. And then I think that's it about my basic understandings on functions. I hope this video will satisfy you all. And okay, that's all. Thank you.